You've understandably been keeping quite a low profile in Australia. Why have you decided to talk out now?
It's because I think that we are seeing the darkest time of West Papua in 20 years. There's unprecedented crackdown right now.
Are you fearful for your own safety at this point?
I am of course concerned about my own safety and my family back in Indonesia, but I think it is nothing compared to what West Papuans on the ground experiencing right now.
My understanding is the Indonesian government is perhaps seeking to get an Interpol order, a red alert order against you. How concerned are you that the Australian government would send you back to Indonesia if that were the case?
I am of course concerned, and that I hope that the Australian government will not cooperate with these politically motivated charges. It's because the Indonesian government is silencing anyone who is speaking up about West Papua.
And have you had any contact with Australian authorities since you've been here?
No, not yet.
In terms of how the Australians are responding to what's happening on the ground in West Papua, do you think more should be being said, more should be being done?
Absolutely. It's because at the minimum, the Australian government must push for to open access for international journalists into West Papua and to allow the UN Human Rights Office to visit West Papua, which has been promised by the Indonesian government since 2 years ago. And I think that human rights concern is above any bilateral treaty. So I think Australia should be doing more because we are seeing unprecedented crisis right now.
And so do you think they're more interested in the relationship and trade rather than those issues?
Exactly, yeah. People are dying. Right now there are at least 55,000 people displaced across West Papua. That's the minimum number.
Now, your activism has been regarded as being a provocateur. That's what you've been charged with in Indonesia. How do you see that?
I think that is how the Indonesian government tried to destroy my credibility, that they cannot refute my data, all the footage, videos and photos, so they go after my credibility instead, so other people will not trust the info that I'm getting out. But I also understand my fellow Indonesians' perspective. The first time my eyes were opened about what's happening in West Papua, I also feel like really intrigued. So if my fellow Indonesians now feel that I am provocating them, I think that's a winning point. That's a start. That Indonesian people finally begin to question what's actually happening in West Papua, so they have another alternative version than just the government's version.
How can you reconcile the fact that the government says they are interested in pursuing some form of solution, yet charging you in this way?
Exactly. I think that they are trying to give chilling effect to other people who are speaking about West Papua. In a press conference, the man in charge of West Papua right now, General Wiranto, who is also indicted by the UN Tribunal on East Timor case, he said that only through him that any information about West Papua can go out. And he also said it's up to us, the government, whether to announce the number of casualties in West Papua or not. So, like, we now also see that another prominent Indonesian activist, Dandi Laksono, he was arrested briefly several days ago over his tweet on West Papua. I think that is another chilling effect tactics that Indonesian government is playing.
Is not constantly posting videos online as you've been doing or tweeting as other activists are doing, is that not creating greater provocation in a very volatile situation already?
I actually filter what I am posting. During the Wamena riot, I got footage, but I didn't post everything. I haven't been posting everything that I got. I filter that what the public needs to know and what can create more chaos, like especially the horizontal conflict, between the indigenous Papuans and the migrants. I am very careful about that.
What impact do you think your activism is, and others' activism is actually having on this issue?
That we are exposing to the world what is actually happening in West Papua, because there's a long-standing war on information about West Papua since the 60s until now. But thanks to the technology now, social media and smartphones, that people on the ground can record what's happening to them. And thanks to social media, I come from a place of privilege from Jakarta, and more access, more networking to people, and I can help share that to the world. And I see that national and international journalists who cannot reach to the ground of West Papua due to the restriction, but they can, what I am reporting can at least guide them that this is what's happening, and then they can follow the lead from there.
It has come at great personal cost to you. You've had to leave your country. How far will you go?
I am not stopping. My family is definitely intimidated. That my parents actually already cried twice, begging me to stop doing this. And even my family's neighbors are feeling intimidated and uncomfortable due to the police presence and etc. But I tell my parents, like, please be patient, because this is bigger than us. That West Papuans people, they're having this uprising, thousands and thousands voicing their demand for independence referendum, and now they are seeing unprecedented crackdown. What's happening in West Papua, the human rights violation, it comes from no one knows that such violation is happening, and that's why I think that people need to keep sharing what's happening to them. So in order to prevent more severe violations.
Now, in terms of the risk to your family, do you not have concerns that something serious could happen because of your activism?
Definitely, because the threats that I'm receiving is not only to me. People are also threatening my family. Even people are threatening my ethnicity. I am Chinese Indonesian minority, and we had previous riots that my ethnicity was being targeted, like mass rape in '98, and that people been threatening me, if you don't shut up, you will cause another riot and mass rape targeted at your ethnicity. And actually that's really chilling. Yeah.
Veronica, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.